How's it going, guys? Adam here this morning, working on a project that I didn't plan to work on. Unfortunately, I broke my tractor blade, and thought I'd kind of show you guys what I'm dealing with here, and I'm going to put a patch on it and see if I can get myself through the rest of the winter, and thought you might be kind of interested in seeing this repair. So I'll do another video too. I just picked up this snowmobile that was in a wreck, and it's kind of bent up, and I've got to do some repairs to that, but that's for another day. But so I've got my B2601 that I use for well, a lot of things, but in the winter currently I am clearing six properties with this thing, and I pretty much exclusively use the scraper blade, on the 3-point scraper blade. And I've got my driveway, which is got a big driveway. I do two neighbors. I've got two properties in town I'm doing, and I also took on the parking lot of my office complex. I've got a little office condo in town, and I kind of stupidly agreed to clear that this winter too. I figured if I had the tractor in town for my other properties, I might as well do the office and get paid a little bit. So anyway, so it's kind of critical that I've got this thing working, and it really works pretty well for clearing snow. But yesterday when I was at one of my properties, I've got a real uneven asphalt driveway, and I hit hard. Didn't think I did any damage, but then this morning I was doing one of my neighbors, and I hit a chunk of, he just poured a driveway, and I hit a chunk of kind of runoff concrete just off the edge of his driveway, and I either broke it on that or I broke it yesterday, and it just fully bent it this morning. But as you can see, probably see better that way, it snapped it bad. So the scraper blade is cracked clean through, and then the main structure is bent back. I'm gonna say probably 5 inches maybe from being straight. So I just got the LP heater running here just to get it all melted off. You know, this blade I actually picked up secondhand. I picked it up used off of the dealer lot a couple years ago, and I paid 175 bucks for it. So it's paid for itself, and it's just a cheap king cutter. It's not an expensive blade by any means. So I'm just gonna beat this thing straight. I'm gonna get it as straight as I can, and then I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna weld angle iron on the back here somewhere, try to stiffen it, and then it's got these gussets, these big gussets in the middle, and that's where it bent. So what I might do is take some angle or some flat bar or something, come off of these gussets, and then come out to the outer edge, maybe up and down, and try to stiffen it that way. I mean, it's never going to be perfect, but I just at least need to get it through this winter, because it's January 25th, so I've got a couple months that I need to use this thing yet. So I'm gonna make do. I actually probably used it for, I don't know, 20-30 minutes this morning after I broke it, and it didn't really seem like it moved anymore. So it is what it is. I'll fix it, and we'll make it as good as it can be, and I'll kind of show you the steps that I'm going to go through to patch this thing back together. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so this is gonna be my first attempt here. So my thinking is, I got a cable come along rigged up on this side of the blade. I've got 6x6s, so I got about 18 inches out here, right on the seam where the bend of the brake is. And my hope is that I can put enough pressure on there, and then I've got enough outward pull here that this will work to straighten this thing out. I've got sorry, you probably didn't see that, but anyway, the pull out here. I have a ratcheting chain binder too if I have to, and that'll move probably anything that I need to move. But we'll see. My concern is I'm afraid that when I start ratcheting on this, that the chain's actually going to pull my blocks over. I'm going to lose my push point there, so I may have to reverse this. But I'm going to get kind of jammed up with the come along. But anyway, we'll give this thing a pull. I'll try to set you up over here so you can kind of see any progress made or not. Sorry, the camera's all crooked and out of whack, and doing the best I can. So here we go. It's definitely tipping my blocks this way with that chain, which is what I expected to have happen. I might need to reset it and start them off kilter this way so as they pull. But actually, it has moved it some. Actually, it's moved it a lot. It's pretty close to straight right there. It really has straightened it out a lot, but I'm kind of getting some binding here. I thought about taking that scraper blade off of there completely and try to straighten just this 1/4 inch here, and then putting that blade back on, but I thought I would try first this way. I don't know, I'm going to beat on this a little bit, see if I can get that gap out of there. But I have a feeling I may have to take that scraper blade off and do this in a 2-step process. Oh baby! Tell you what. For what this is for, that's dang near perfect. Pop right into place. Kind of lay it straight edge on here. You won't be able to see this probably, but I'm out by, actually I've actually come a little too far by a hair. I'm kind of thinking I'm just going to leave it like that because it's really close. Sarah keeps stepping in front of you. So I'm going to leave it like this, and now I got to figure out a way that I can get some welds on this to stiffen it up so it stays in place. So that'll be my next step to figure out. Okay, so I got this, I don't know, it's probably 3 feet or so of, I think this is 1.5 inches by 3/16 angle iron. Just a chunk of head laying around. And I'm going to go ahead and weld. As you can see, I just took the grinder with a flap disc and knocked the paint off of here. So I'm going to weld this to this gusset here. Really good weld. And then I'll run some welds periodically here and there along that blade, and I'm going to be out a couple inches from the end. So that should help to stiffen that up pretty good. And then I've got some more of this angle. I'll probably cut another piece, and I may do the same thing up here. And I think that. And then if I feel like it's necessary, then I can run some just flat bar out from the very outer edge of this gusset. Hopefully you can see this on camera. From this very outside edge of this gusset here, and then I can run them in from here and run it in the outside of that angle. If I do one there, if I do the same thing on the top, should be strong enough for pushing snow. And then get this thing all strengthened, and then I'll probably grind a groove in that cutting blade where it broke, and I'll run a bead along there too. I may pull that cutting blade off so I can run a bead in the front and the back, but I may not either. I might just call it good enough for what it is. Kind of take it easy, and I think it'll hold up for pushing snow. So let's get the welder set up. So that's 3/16 angle, got 75, 25, 30 thousandths, so we're gonna run 550 per setting. Using the, my mind's going blank, the handler, the Hobart 210 MVP. So let's get the show on the road. All right. I've mentioned in other videos before, but I'm not a welder. I'm just a guy that likes to do his own stuff, so don't judge me on my welding, but I think that's going to hold pretty well. So at this point, I think I can probably go ahead and take this come along off of here and relieve that pressure. I don't think I'm going to put one up top, because that's obviously not where it's taking the force. It's down to the bottom. So I need to figure out if there's a way that I can get some more support down closer to that bottom edge. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. So let me look at this a little closer, but I need to get a little bit more support down here, because I'm pretty sure that it's like 1/2-inch material, so I know that this cutting blade adds a lot of strength to the unit. Since that blade is broke, that's taken away a lot of that strength. So I'll either need to find someplace on the back to weld. I'm tempted just to weld angle iron right across the top of that thing, right across the front. But let me look at this a little closer, and then I'll come back to you. Gotta go with a stepper bit because the biggest regular size drill bit I have right here is 1/2 inch, so I need these to go up to 5/8, so we'll do this instead. Ooh, I might need to soak these before they're going to break loose. Shoot, hit this. A couple holes that are off here, so I'm gonna have to hog these out a bit bigger. I'll do that quick and be right back. Okay guys, I'm gonna get you, it's gonna be a little shaky here because I'm hand holding so you can see what I'm doing down here low, but so I took the nuts off of, those are the bolts that hold that cutting edge on, and what I decided is I really need to get my reinforcement down here low where, you know, where it takes where it hits the most pressure, it takes the most beating. Here's the crack right here, you can see from the back side. So took those off. I took another piece of that 1.5 by 3/16 angle, sorry for the jumpy. Let's see if I can do this with one hand, but basically I just cut that angle to match the one above it, drilled some holes in it to accept. I'm going to try to set you on the floor here so I can't really do this with one hand. There, hopefully that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to kind of loosely put these nuts back on so it is in the right spot, and then I'm going to weld this on here, and I think at that point I will have done everything I can do to strengthen this as much as possible. And I think for what I do with this thing, that's going to be plenty of strength. And I actually, yeah, those are lock washers. I better put those on. I really could use a little bit longer bolts in here, but I think I'll get most of the, I'll get almost the entire nut worth of threads on there, so it should be okay. So anyway, my camera battery's getting real low, so I'm gonna tighten this up a little bit. I'm gonna weld this up, and then I'll come back to you. Okay guys, I got that bottom brace welded on there, bolted on, welded on. I think I've got that thing reinforced about as strong as I can make it, and I don't think I'm gonna have any further issues with that. Took the come along off, and it stayed nice and straight. Really close to straight, good enough. And one last thing that I'll show you, I did, I pulled off this cutting blade. I don't know how well you can see that, but I took it to the grinder and I put a bevel in there. So now I'm gonna run, where are you at here? So now I'm gonna run a bead, a weld down there. I don't know if probably won't do a whole lot, and that stuff is really thick, but just to kind of tie those, the two broken pieces together and make it as strong as possible. So I'll do that. And then I will throw a good coat of primer on this thing so it doesn't rust up in the first 24 hours. Someday maybe I'll even get some yellow paint and throw on there, but I think we're about done here. I think it's gonna work good. Well guys, I think that's a wrap. Other than the horrendous paint job, which black paint is obviously the only thing I had laying around, I think we're in pretty good shape here. Got that reinforced. Ran a bead down that cutting blade. We'll see if that does anything, but I think for what I do with this thing, it's gonna be just fine. Like I said, I just push snow with it, so I'll take it kind of easy. This is the way I push. I always push backwards, which I know people say you're not supposed to push backwards with 3-point, but I do it. I just try to be careful. This leading edge is the one that takes most of the abuse. If I thought about actually reinforcing the other side as well, but I don't really think I need to, because this is the side that if something's going to get hit, it's going to be that corner first. So I think we're in pretty good shape. But anyway, hopefully you guys found that entertaining or helpful. Got coming up, my next project is I've got this Skidoo that I just picked up. It's an 08. I forget what the model is, but anyway, it was wrecked, and I think it's got a bent bulkhead. I'm not exactly sure what's bent. I need to strip all the plastic off and figure out what's bent. I think I can get pretty much all the parts. I got it for a good deal, so I'm most likely going to get it fixed up, get it nice and straight, and probably resell it, although I might play with it a little bit because we've got kind of a snowy winter and haven't had a snowmobile for a while. So anyway, subscribe if you're interested in seeing more projects. I'm always tinkering around with the tractor too. Got a lot of some other videos, and I've got some more that I'm going to be posting. But appreciate you watching. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.